New shelves, who dis? Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope that you are doing so very well. As you can see, I have new shelves. I got new shelves. I got these 3 shelves new, 1, 2, 3. And the video directly after this video should be my reorganization video. It's nothing special, just sped up version of me reorganizing these shelves and trying to take all of the books off and then realizing I didn't have enough space to do that. So be on the lookout for that. But in this video, we are going to be discussing my favorite retellings. This is only a current favorites list. It could morph after I read more retellings, but this is just like my current favorites. And the reason I'm doing this video is because Fiction Faction is reading The Forest Queen by Betsy Cornwell during the months of August and September. I'm not sure when our live show is going to be. If I know that, I will put it in the description below. And because of that, this video is being sponsored by HMH Teen. Thanks, guys! This is a Robin Hood retelling, and it's actually a gender-bent Robin Hood retelling. And I really like this book, guys. The Forest Queen is about a girl named Sylvie, and she has grown up with the noble families of her region. Her brother John was just made a sheriff, and when John tries to marry her off, and then with some other circumstances that happen, she decides to run away to the forest with her best friend Bird, and they are joined by her new acquaintance, little Jane, you know, and together they start a forest colony, which Sylvie just views as running away, but the town kind of views it as an act of rebellion. You guys know the story of Robin Hood. That's like the general gist of it, is her being the Forest Queen. It was really good, really well done retelling. I liked it a lot. There's also a giveaway for a lot of copies of The Forest Queen. I'll link them down below. Enter for your chance to win, and then you can get it and read it and love it. And now let's get into the books. First up is The Forbidden Wish by Jessica Corey. This is a retelling of Aladdin with a gender-bent genie, and so that definitely changes the dynamics of the story, if you know what I'm saying. But it really also centers around the genie, whose name is Zara. This is really her story more than it is Aladdin's story, and it's really one of the reasons I love it as a retelling. Zara starts to fall in love with Aladdin, and that is complicated when the King of the Genie offers her a chance to be free of her bottle forever, which she was trapped there. Not all genie are in bottles, but she is because of some things that she did, and it's just a really fascinating and well done retelling. I loved it a lot. You should definitely check it out. I will link it below if you want to read it. And special shout out to Paige from Enchantology for getting me this book because she knew I would love it, and she was right. Next up is Geekerella by Ashley Poston. I could not talk about retellings without talking about this freaking book. It's so good. I bought this after it had been calling to me for like a week. Then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start it. We're just gonna start it and read it throughout the week. And then I started it and finished it in one night because I could not put it down. Geekerella is about a girl named Elle. She lives with her stepsisters and her stepmother, who are awful, as per the usual Cinderella story. And the one thing connecting her to her dad, the one thing that she really cherishes in life, is Starfield, her favorite TV show. And they're making a movie of Starfield, but they cast this guy that she really doesn't like, named Darian Freeman, as the lead. But if she enters a contest for a meet and greet with him, she could also win tickets to the premiere, so you better believe she's gonna enter that costume contest. This is also told from dual perspective. It's told from Darian's point of view as well, and Darian is actually a really huge Starfield fan, but his management is making him play dumb, like he doesn't know anything about it, like he wasn't a geek boy, and so he's going through his own struggles with that. And there's maybe some like secret communication, like some Cinderella story stuff, you know what I'm saying? And it really captures the essence of fandom without relying on an existing fandom, if that makes sense. And I loved it so much, and now I just want to reread it after talking about how much I love this book. Definitely check this book out. One of my all-time favorite books. Next up is A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallero. I bought this book on a whim. I was not expecting to like it as much as I did or be as obsessed with this series now as I am. It's really good. This is a retelling of Sherlock Holmes, but in a very roundabout way. Charlotte is the great-great-great-granddaughter of Sherlock Holmes, and she meets a Jamie Watson, who is the great-great-great-great-grandson of John Watson. You know what I'm saying? You know where this is going. Also, I don't know if that's the right number of greats. I kind of just made it up on the spot because I don't want to look it up. By a happy accident, they end up at the same prep school, but they are not really friends right away. Charlotte makes it abundantly clear that she doesn't want Jamie in her life, that she doesn't need Jamie, but then someone tries to frame him for murder, and that brings them together because they have a case to solve. And Charlotte's kind of framed for murder too. a little bit. They're both framed for murder, and someone is using inspiration from Sherlock Holmes novels to point it back to them. The dynamics of Charlotte and Jamie in this book, and I've only read the second book so far, but their dynamic is so intriguing and so interesting, and I really, really, really like it. I also really love the exploration of Charlotte being a female Holmes and being looked at differently than male Holmes, you know what I'm saying? It's just all really, really good, and it's a really great retelling and modernization, and I love it, I love it. Next up is The Wrath of the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. If you didn't know I love this book, I made a video about this book. I love this retelling, and it is a retelling of 1001 Nights, which is the book that Aladdin is from. It is a part of those stories, but the big story of 1001 Nights is that the wives of this guy keep getting killed, and the girl that 1001 Nights is about manages to stay alive by telling him a story until dawn and doing it continuously every night, and that's where The Wrath of the Dawn comes in. This book mostly follows Shahrazad, who is out for revenge against the King Khalid because one of the wives that he has taken was her best friend and he killed her, and she's like, no, that's not gonna fly. I'm gonna kill you instead. She manages to stay alive and to kind of win him over by telling him stories every night. But there's more to Khalid and his story and what is actually happening than Shahrazad initially thought, and this book is about them finding out more about each other and also some magics. And Shahrazad is such a great character. Love her. And last but not least, I couldn't talk about retellings without talking about the Lunar Chronicles. We got Cinder, loosely based on Cinderella, Scarlet, Red Riding Hood, Cress, Rapunzel, Winter, Snow White. These books are like the staple of YA retellings, and for good reason. They are amazing. I'm gonna put them down now though because they are heavy. I bought Cinder and Scarlet before I started booktube even. I was on a missions trip to Greece, and one of the days I got really sick with some food poisoning, and I read that whole day instead of going out because I was literally too weak to stand. So I just read in my bed. I read Cinder the whole day, and I connected to the Wi-Fi and downloaded a free sample of Scarlet to my Kindle because I needed more. It's just so good. If you haven't heard of the Lunar Chronicles, if you haven't read the Lunar Chronicles, who even are you? What are you even doing on booktube? You should read them now. We'll just start with the basics. Cinder, because the rest could be a little bit spoilery. Cinder is a cyborg, and she is one of the lowest of the low because cyborgs are super looked down upon, but she comes into contact with the Prince Kai. Sparks fly, things happen, and you've also got Queen Lavanna, who is from the moon, who is very evil and wants to marry Prince Kai so she can take over the entire earth, even though he's not really about that life. Basic Cinderella stuff, but futuristic, cyborg, moon people, and then you have introductions of the rest of the characters throughout the whole series. It's just all good stuff. I love the Lunar Chronicles. I love them so much. And that's it. That's my list. That's what you get for now, at least. Maybe there will be another version of this video in the future sometime. Like I said, we are reading The Forest Queen this month. You could read The Forest Queen too, read it with us, and then join us for the live show. It's gonna be a great time. All the information you need to know is down below. Also, let me know down below what your favorite retellings are. I would love to know. I obviously need more retellings in my life because I love them so much, and I forget how much I love them until I talk about them like in this video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Boop. Oh.